Welcome to Real Estate Radio Live, an informative and engaging hour discussing everything you need to know about the world of real estate. Your host, Joe Kuchera, provides you with insight and guidance on how to buy, sell, finance, and invest in real estate. He also offers real estate tax management strategies, new construction advice, home improvement tips, and much, much more. And now, to guide you around the world of real estate, here's your host and Real Estate Radio Live team leader, Joe Kuchera.
Welcome in. Good afternoon. Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live. Thank you for spending some time with us this afternoon. Before we get started, just a reminder, a couple different ways you can listen to the show and interact with the show. One is, of course, on the radio at KDOW 1220 AM. You could tune in and listen 3 to 4 Pacific Daylight Time. We're with you every single day, Monday through Friday. You could also go online, and as long as you have an internet connection between the hours of 3 to 4 and Pacific Daylight Time, you could go on the internet and go to kdow.biz. Again, that's kdow.biz. And if you're online during that time period, you go to that website. You could click on the Listen Live button, excuse me, and you can listen to the show live online there. Also, we have the live feed on Facebook going every day, unless something's going on and we're not in the studio or doing something out of the office. We are going to be doing live streaming on Facebook. So continue to interact, give us comments, feedback. It's been really good. We're getting a lot of comments and feedback via Facebook. And then lastly, make sure to download the podcast. We know that everybody's busy. Got a lot of stuff going on. Sometimes schedules don't permit. And so the best way to follow the show is to download the podcast and listen to the show anytime, anywhere. You could do that by going to iTunes and type in Real Estate Radio Live, or you could go to our website, of course, at reradiolive.com, and you could get the podcast there. We're a live show during this time period. Real quickly, last thing, if you want to give us a call during the show, it's 1-800-516-1220. We get calls from time to time. We had a great call yesterday. Keep them coming. Again, 1-800-516-1220 if you want to call us during the show. If you're listening to this via the podcast, or if you want to text or call any other time, it's 408-838-9060. All right, let's get to the topic today. Is going to be the most important 6 questions that you could ask, you the consumer, can ask your lender and real estate agent. So again, the most important 6 questions, not necessarily in a certain order, the most important 6 questions you could ask your lender and real estate agent. Now, some of these questions might surprise you if you're listening to them for the first time, because these questions are geared towards research, study, data of what consumers want and what consumers' expectations are in today's marketplace. This is not studies and research or the top 7 questions you ask someone from 2001 or 1998, and a lot of people still live in the past. These are the questions that you should be asking your lender and real estate agent right now if you're interviewing he or she to represent you on the real estate side or the lending side. And they're geared towards the data and the research or what consumers are telling us or telling the industry of what they're looking for and what they need. So again, understand as I go through these 6, these are geared towards what people are missing and what they're wanting in their real estate and lending transactions. The statistics show some of these things that bear out. So as I go through them, if you have any questions, again, you could call during the show or you could text your questions in 408-838-9060. Okay, the first question, now this is, it's a little, we're going to switch a little bit. So first thing I'm going to do is the most important 6 questions you should be asking your real estate agent before deciding to work with he or she. And this is on the selling side. So if you are interviewing a real estate agent, talking to a real estate agent about listing your home, there's a couple little fine-tuned tweaks. Of course, if you're going to be working with a real estate agent that's going to help you buy a home. So as we go through those, I will identify a few of the different questions you want to ask of a buyer's agent versus the listing agent. Okay, so first let's cover the top 6 that you should be asking your real estate agent if they're getting ready or if you're interviewing someone to list your home. The first question, and this is going to apply to everybody, why you? I love that question. And I would ask, the reason why this question is so powerful and the reason why I would recommend that you ask this question to a potential person you're working with, it gives them a chance to describe why them. It's such a simple question, but it's profound in a way that you hope that you get a good answer. And the reason why I think this is so important is that it gives that person an opportunity to describe to you and to talk to you a little bit about why them. Why am I different? If I'm the person you're interviewing, give me the opportunity to talk about why I'm different, why you should use me, what differentiates me between the average person, what is my unique relational proposition, what types of things am I going to talk to you and display with you or talk to you about that are going to really be a game changer. So that's the first question. Why you? And so once you ask them that question, make sure you pause, of course, and give them an opportunity to ask and talk about it. Now, if they respond to you, well, that's a funny question, Joe. Why would you say, why you? My response would be because I really want to find out who you are, what you're about. Why would you be the right candidate for me when I'm getting ready to spend this amount of money and put my trust into you? I want to know about you. I want to know a little bit about why you. And so that's a great question. First, number one question, ask them why you. Now, if any of you out there listening to the show, if you want to listen to these questions, I could certainly provide them to you. That's not a problem. And again, you don't have to ask them in a certain order. Well, I take that back. I would actually like you, in a perfect world, to ask these questions in the order that I'm asking. And there's a reason for it. There is a reason for it because, and when I get to the end of the questions, I'll go over that with you. Okay, so number one, why you? Ask them what differentiate them, why them, why are they going to be different? Okay, number two, the question you want to ask is, what's your marketing plan and strategy? So you're getting ready to sell my home. It's an expensive home. What's your strategy? What's your marketing? Tell me a little bit about your marketing. How are you going to market my house? What's your strategy? What kind of technology are you going to use? Go over with me exactly step by step from start to finish what the marketing strategy is to give you the best chance you can to sell my home. Now, most people listening to this today might say, Joe, it's a joke. Some people might joke and say the marketing strategy is put the house on the market. Because in a market like this, where inventory is low, if the house is priced right, it probably should move pretty quickly. That doesn't matter. You don't know what your market you're in, and you do want to make sure you know who you're working with. So number two question, what's your marketing strategy? How are you going to market my home best on putting it on the market? Okay. Number three, as a listing agent, you should ask them to have them show you the last 10 to 12 transactions you did. Show me the last 10 to 12 listings of the homes that you put on the market, how long they were on the market, and what is the difference between the asking price and the sales price. Ask them those questions. Show me the list. I want to see a list of the transactions because I want to get an idea what you're doing, what the marketplace is like, what kind of experience you have. So ask them for the last 10 to 12 listing transactions they have, how many. And of those, talk a little bit about how long were they on the market, number one. Number two, what was the asking price or the listed price, and then what did it sell for. And the reason why things are important is how long was it on the market. That's important because if it was on for 90 days or 120 days, you're like, wow, well, that seems like a long time in a market like this. So ask how long it was on the market. Ask what the price was that they put it on the market for, and then ask for the sales price. The reason why is those could be different. If you put the house on the market for $1 million and end up selling for 1.1, then you might ask, well, gee, well, that sounds like a good strategy. Why did it go over? What's the reason you think it went over? And why did you think you got more than asking? Conversely, if you look at the data and it shows that several of their homes they put on the market and they got less than the asking, that might be a red flag to try to figure out why that happened. Are you pricing houses too high? Are you not doing your research to better understand where those houses should be on the marketplace? So that's question number 3. Question number 3 again, can you please provide me with a list of your last 10 to 12 transactions of people you helped sell their homes? And 3 things I'm looking for. Show me that list. Give me an idea of how long that home was on the market, what was the asking price, and what did the home finally sell for. All right, we're going to take a first break. When I come back, I'm going to continue talking about the topic today, the top 6 questions you should be asking your lender and real estate agent when getting ready to hire them. If you have any questions, 1-800-516-1220. This is Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live. For the people watching Facebook, stay tuned. We're going to take a quick 2-minute break, and we'll be back with the live feed in just a couple of minutes. Thank you.
For more information on today's program, visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com.
The world is changing, and so is real estate. It's changing in ways that give consumers more control with more affordable options. So what are your options? Hi, this is Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live. I've been on the air educating and informing consumers for over 7 years now. I'm excited to announce that there is now a more efficient and cost-effective way to buy and sell real estate. Our team at Real Estate Radio Live is launching a new program designed to help buyers or sellers like you in real estate, lending and title. That's right, we'll coordinate the entire transaction for you. So you benefit by working with the same team, saving time and saving money. We'll guarantee you'll not only be working with the most qualified, hand-picked experts in real estate, lending, and title, but you will also save a significant amount of money in all 3 services as well. Act now and benefit from changing the world of real estate. Call 408-838-9060. Go to RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com.
Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Live, streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and KDOW.biz. For more information on today's topic or guest, just visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Again, your host for Real Estate Radio Live, Joe Kuchera.
Welcome back in. Thank you for joining this afternoon. Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live with you 5 days a week, Monday through Friday from 3 to 4 Pacific Daylight Time. Streaming live on Facebook right now as we do every day unless we're out of the studio. Also, be sure to tune in. You can tune in on the radio at KDOW 1220 AM. For those radio listeners, be sure to do a couple things. Number one, follow us on Facebook if you'd like. It's Real Estate Radio Live on Facebook. Also, be sure to download the podcast. Any of those that are on Facebook watching the show or following the show, the great way to continue to follow us is download the podcast at RERadiolive.com, or you can go to iTunes and type in Real Estate Radio Live, and you get the podcast there. All right, the topic today is the top 6 things, the top 6 questions you should be, most important questions you should be asking your lender and real estate agent in today's market. The reason I say today's market, because consumer needs are changing, consumer desires are changing, and how we interact with consumers and conduct our business is changing. For those that don't think so, again, you'll hear me say this all the time, you really need to get into the 21st century and understand that consumers' needs are changing. Now, the basic needs will always be there. Consumers expect good customer care. They expect people to take care of them. They expect people to deliver on their promises. Those things will never change. What changes and what has changed is the expectation of all industries, not just ours, I'm talking about ours right now, of how we can improve in what the consumer demands are. And in many cases, our industry has their head in the sand when it comes to this very topic. Because we still think that we should be operating the way we want to operate, because that's the way we operate, and it couldn't be further from the truth. And I'm talking about this because I get this data every day. I research, I read every single day. These questions, ladies and gentlemen, are geared towards today's consumer, what they expect, what they look for. The number one, I'll get back to these questions in a minute. The number one complaint, I'm not sure who knows this, what is the number one complaint in a real estate transaction overall? The number one. Let me tell you, it's a lack of communication and follow-through. Consumers' number one complaint during a real estate transaction is they feel like they were not communicated with properly, or there was a lack of communication. Those aren't my numbers. Those aren't stories that I pulled out of the air. Those aren't numbers that were, facts and data that I'm just coming up with. These are real. These are done by the National Association of Realtors. This is done by, Realtors.com. You could go to Inman News. You could go to any number of real estate publications that have this data available. And it's out there. So if you're in this business, you should be paying attention to what the consumer's needs are and what they're looking for. And I'll get through and detail more of this as we go through. Okay, number four. I was just talking about it, and that's why I'm going to bring it up. Number 4 on the list of the top 6 things you should be asking your real estate agent who's going to be representing the listing of your home or selling your home is the question should be, how are you using technology to better communicate and to improve the customer transaction? In other words, improve the customer experience during the transaction. How are you, a real estate agent or a real estate company, how are you using technology to better communicate during the transaction and improve the customer experience overall? And that's a good question. How are you? If you're listening to this or you're following the show, and again, I study this stuff all the time because I want to try to get better in my offer to consumers I work with. It's not a right or wrong. It's an educational process. That's a good question. And by the way, when I get to the lender side, they're going to have the exact same question. How are you, if you're being interviewed, how are you going to answer that question? Think about that, because these are the questions that consumers are going to start asking you more and more. The time has gone, ladies and gentlemen. Now, it's going to take a while, but the time has gone when people just say, oh, okay, yeah, I'll use you. Where do I sign? It doesn't happen that way. It may happen that way if you have a relationship and if someone's used you for a long time, but those things are going to start to change. Those people that have used you for a long time or used us for a long time, they have children, they have grandchildren, they have relatives, they have friends that are younger and wise, and they expect more. These things are going to start happening. So number 4 question. How are you using technology to better communicate with me during the process and improve the overall customer experience of the transaction? The reason why I bring this up and the reason why I add this to the list of 6 questions is because the number 1 complaint of consumers during a real estate transaction is they are not communicated with or kept in touch with what's going on during the process. All right, number 5. Will I be notified? And this goes along with the technology, and this is why it's really important. And consumers are going to be asking these questions, and there's a reason why these questions are in there is because this is what consumers want. Number 5, will I be communicated with and kept up with milestones along the way of the transaction? For example, when you go into contract, will I be notified? When the home inspection is ordered, will I be notified? When the home inspection is complete, will I be notified? When the appraisal is in, will I be notified? We'll get on the lending side in just a couple minutes. Same thing. If not, why not? Right? Number 5, will I be kept in community? And a system is not, oh, I guess I better call someone because the report's in now. That's not a system. A system, in the best use of technology, is the report's in and the customer gets a text or an email that says the report's in. Now, it doesn't have to give the customer the details of the reports, but it can tell the customer, hey, congratulations, the home inspection is in. The appraisal's in. The underwriting's done. Right? There's no reason we shouldn't be using that right now. That's number 5. And number 6, and this again is more and more coming to the industry in tenfold. Number 6, what are your fees and the cost for this transaction? In other words, the consumer is going to ask you this. Some people are funny about this in our industry. They think for some reason that the consumers, by the way, the number 1 complaint with consumers is that they don't get communicated with or kept in touch during the process. In other words, the communication, the follow-through is not good. Number 1 complaint. Number 2 complaint, or not so much a complaint, but number 2 issue that comes up with consumers, they want the ability to negotiate. They just do. Right or wrong, they want the ability to negotiate. They're talking about this. And if you're in this industry, like I am and you are, you know. So number 6, the consumer's going to ask, what are your fees and costs? Tell me about your fees and costs. That's going to come up. And it will come up. I would suggest if you're uncomfortable with this, if you're in the industry and if you're uncomfortable when someone asks you that, then seriously, practice answering that question. Come up with a value proposition so that when that question comes up, you will feel comfortable answering that question. When someone asks you what are your fees and costs, whether you're an attorney, a lender, a real estate agent, doesn't matter. When they ask you that, you should be prepared to back it up. You should be prepared to say, great question. Let me tell you why. Right? And then go on to take a minute to talk about how well you do and why your services are top and compared to none. Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live. I'm going to come back in a couple minutes, continue talking about the 6 questions you should be asking your real estate agent and lender. I'll be back with you in just a couple minutes. 1-800-516-1220 if you want to get your calls on the air.
For more information on today's program, visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com.
Hi, this is Joe Kuchera, host of Real Estate Radio Live and Bay Area Mortgage Planner. In addition to being your home financing expert, please remember you could always contact me for other trusted advisors such as realtors, financial planners, and CPAs. Please feel free to contact me at 408-838-9060. That's 408-838-9060, or email joe at RERadiolive.com, or visit my website at RERadiolive.com for more details.
Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Live, streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and KDOW.biz. For more information on today's topic or guest, just visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Again, your host for Real Estate Radio Live, Joe Kuchera.
Welcome back in. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live. As we move through the week, it is, actually we're not moving through the week. What is today? Tuesday. We're just Tuesday. It seems like it's longer. With you 5 days a week. Tune in at KDOW 1220 AM. You could watch every day live streaming online at Facebook. You can go to the website, KDOW.biz. You could actually listen to the show anywhere during this time frame if you go to the website, KDOW.biz. All right, so let's jump back into the questions. Or I should say the topic today is the most important 6 questions that you should be asking your real estate agent and lender. I'm just wrapping up the top 6 questions, the most important for the real estate agent. I'm going to move to the lender right now. So I went through the top 6 as if you are interviewing someone on the listing side. There are two changes if you're interviewing someone that's going to be helping you buy a home. And I'm going to talk about those right now. So the top 6, I'll go real quick. real quick on the real estate side, with the first question was, why you? The second question was, what's your marketing plan or strategy? The third was, please show me a list of the last 10 to 12 transactions of helping a consumer list their home. How long was it on the market? 2, what did you price it for? And 3, what did it sell for? Number 4, how will you use technology to better communicate with me during the process? In other words, or improve customer care. How are you using technology? How is your company and you using technology to better communicate during the process? Number 5, are there milestones? In other words, do I know each step of the way where I am in the process? That is a question that consumers are going to ask. They should be asking, so we should be prepared for that. And then number 6 is the information about what are your costs and fees associated with listing my house. The 2 things that are different if someone's helping you buy a home versus listing your home. So if you have an agent that's a buyer's agent helping you buy a home, the 2 questions different are going to be number 2, instead of what's your marketing strategy if you're selling a home, number 2, if you're buying a home, it's going to be what is your strategy to give me a better chance to have my offer accepted. The reason why this is so important in a market like this, just yesterday I did really some feedback on this and some education. This is a tough market. And as a buyer, it's really tough. Offers are getting turned down left and right, being overbid, outbid, all that kind of stuff. So if you're getting ready to interview an agent to help you buy a home, the second question you should ask, what strategies do you have in place to give me a better chance to get my offer accepted? Especially in a market like this. That should always be the question, but especially in a market like this. So tough. Have them give you a list of the last 10 or 12 people they worked with. How long did they work with them? How long did it take to get their offer accepted? The reason why this is important is that what if they provide you with a list of people and they said, well, I haven't found them a house yet. Or what if they don't have a list of people? What if you say, tell me about the last 10 to 12 people you helped to get into a home, and they go, well, I really haven't. Really? What makes you the right person for me? These are all questions that as consumers we need to understand, ask. But in our industry, whether you're a real estate agent or lender, these are all questions that we need to be prepared to answer. These are real questions. These are consumers that have demands. And we have to realize if we're going to protect our best interest and keep earning the income that we earn in this business, ladies and gentlemen, now I'm speaking for a moment directly to real estate agents in the lending business. If you expect to keep this business strong and healthy into the future, you would better work at providing the most additional added value you can in any way you can going forward. Educate yourself. Use technology. Become an expert if you already aren't. Add things to value to your consumer to set you apart from the rest. Otherwise, it's going to get a lot more difficult, I guarantee you. The other question you want to ask, if on the buying side, is the part about the well, let's see. We got the buying side, the strategy to get your house, and also the list of people. I think we covered that. So really just the differences on the buy side is you're going to ask the real estate agent you're interviewing that's going to help you buy a home. Ask them what kind of chance or what gives them a better chance to get your offer accepted in a market like this, and you're going to ask them a little bit about the last 10 or 12 people they helped. Talk a little bit about that. Those are some of the things you really need to be sure you ask. All right, so let's jump in now on the lending side. And this is a fun one for me too. This is my business. I'm in lending. I want to be one of those that continue to learn, grow, educate myself, figure out what the consumer wants, what their needs are, and hopefully try to stay with that and try to keep pace and offer that best I can. So, consumers out there, you're getting ready to sit down and interview a lender like myself or anybody else. Number one question is the same. Why you? Ask that to me. Ask that to people who interview. Why you? Give them a chance to explain what makes them different. Give them a minute or so to say, I'll give you an example. What if someone says, why you? Well, let me tell you, I've been in this business for almost 20 years. I help an average of 260 people a year. I close at least 90% of my business is purchase transactions, in which I close in less than 30 days. And we have marketing. We're going to stay in touch with you not only during and after the process, but after your loan closes. You're going to get something from us every month, every quarter, and you're going to get a call from us once a year for an annual mortgage review, because it's not good enough that we work with you with a transaction. We want you as a client for life, and we're going to continue to be in touch with you after this loan closes. That's how important you are to me. I'm saying that's part of my pitch. Well, my suggestion is when someone gets ready to ask you that question, this is a question that consumers should be asking. Why you? Okay, that's the number one. Number two, this is a real important one, really important. I did a story on this and some feedback on this a couple weeks ago. The question consumers you want to ask the lenders or the person you're sitting down with to potentially work with, you need to find out, are you a big bank? Are you a mortgage banker? Or are you a broker? These are really important. I'm going to expand on this for a minute. Really important. So the big bank, what do I mean by big banks? Big private, publicly held banks are Wells Fargo, Chase, B of A, Citi. Those are what I would consider big banks, right? Big, publicly held, those are banks, big banks. Then you have, what I do is we're one of the 10 largest mortgage bankers in the United States. So we do a lot of business, but we're an independent private mortgage banker. We are not a Chase or a Wells or anything like that. And then you have brokers. Brokers are those that represent you, but they don't close the loan in their name. They will look for a lender or an investor once they take your information to broker that loan out to them. These are really important things to ask a potential person you're going to be working with on the lending side. The reason why, if it's a purchase, ladies and gentlemen, be super careful. Be very, very careful. Because the purchase market these days, the environment is you need to close quickly most of the time in less than 30 days. And if you don't have control of your service, if the person you're working with doesn't have control of your service, then that could be a problem. So make sure you ask them, big bank, mortgage banker, or broker. My personal opinion before we move along, I've worked with and understand all three. I study them every single day. I understand them. I've worked part of them. I've been part of all these. I have my own personal opinion, of course. That's why I choose to be a big mortgage banker, because we have more flexibility, just like the big guys. But I think we do a lot better job with service, technology, and communication. So that's what I choose. But I also want to control our product. I don't like the idea of brokering, because what happens with brokering is you don't know where that loan's going, and you're going to lose service the minute that loan goes out. So that's number two. Ask them, big bank, mortgage banker, or broker. Okay. Number three, this is really important. Ask them what the percentage of business that you do is purchase. This is really important. We're in a purchase market, and if you're getting ready to hire a lender or work with someone that you know that it's going to be time sensitive, that you're going to need to get that loan closed on time, ask this question. What percentage of your business is purchase versus refinance? In my case, for instance, if someone asked me that question, I would say 80% purchase, 20% refinance, because I know that. The majority of my business is purchase. Now, several years ago, it might have been 50-50 because there was a big refinance market. The reason why that's important right now is that you want someone that's experienced in a purchase market if you're working with a transaction with your home. What you don't want, now if someone says, well, I 80% refinance, 20% purchase, I'm not suggesting that they may not be the right fit for you, but I'm suggesting that if they're doing very little purchase business, they're probably not in tune to how serious that purchase business is and how time sensitive it is. I encourage you, make sure you're working with someone that understands the purchase business and they're doing the majority of the business in that area. So that's number three. Number four, ask them about the average close of escrow. What I'm going to do before I dive into this, I'm going to take another quick break. When I come back, I'm going to finish up. I'm going to put the finishing touch on all this. The top 6 things you should be asking your real estate agent and lender We're going to come back. I'm going to finish up with the lender side. Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live, 1-800-516-1220 with any questions. I'll be back with you to finish up in just a couple minutes.
For more information on today's program, visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com.
The world is changing, and so is real estate. It's changing in ways that give consumers more control with more affordable options. So what are your options? Hi, this is Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live. I've been on the air educating and informing consumers for over 7 years now. I'm excited to announce that there is now a more efficient and cost-effective way to buy and sell real estate. Our team at Real Estate Radio Live is launching a new program designed to help buyers or sellers like you in real estate, lending and title. That's right, we'll coordinate the entire transaction for you. So you benefit by working with the same team, saving time and saving money. We'll guarantee you'll not only be working with the most qualified, hand-picked experts in real estate, lending, and title, but you will also save a significant amount of money in all three services as well. Act now and benefit from changing the world of real estate. Call 408-838-9060. Go to RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com.
Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Live, streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and KDOW.biz. For more information on today's topic or guest, just visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Again, your host for Real Estate Radio Live, Joe Kuchera.
Welcome back in. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live, streaming live on Facebook. Listen to us at KDOW 1220 on the radio. Listen to us live online at KDOW.biz. And finally, be sure to download the podcast. If you go to iTunes, you can download the Real Estate Radio Live, or you go to our website, RERadiolive.com. The topic today, as we finish up, is the top 6 questions, the most important questions you should be asking your real estate agent and lender before hiring them. We're wrapping up the lending side, so I'm going to real quickly now go through, finish up the lending. The lending on the number 5, the 5th question you should be asking. Again, same as the real estate agent. How are you using technology? How will you better use technology to better communicate with me and improve my customer experience during the transaction? It's a question that we're going to start getting asked more and more. And I think we need to start getting used to it as consumers. You have this expectation. This is not just something I'm making up. This is out there. We all know in a world today what's happening. To make it as simple as possible, people want what? People want what? They want things quicker, simpler, cheaper, more affordable. Quicker, more simple, easier use of technology, faster, more affordable, savings, right? Those are the things people want. The expectations are there. Do we have any control over this? No. As technology evolves and the world evolves, products and services evolve, there's a lot of smart people out there creating a lot of technology, and we either adapt or die. You either adapt or die. And this is a message just as much for our industry as it is for consumers. Consumers expect and demand for us to keep getting better. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. We should be making progress. So the number 5 question that consumers are asking us, are going to ask us, and I would suggest that you do ask us, is how are you using technology to better communicate with me during the process and give me a better customer experience during it? I will tell you, if you don't have a system that does not communicate with someone along the way during the transaction in our industry, that's not good. As a consumer, you deserve at least that. Are you kidding me? In an industry where we have trillions and trillions of dollars worth of transactions each year, we can't use a technology at least that communicates with a customer during the process. We can't tell the customer when the loan's in, when the loan's in processing, when the loan's in underwriting, when the loan's been approved, when the appraisal's in, your loan docs are confirmed, your sign. We do that. I'm not saying it's magical technology, but that's the minimum that consumers deserve. If we can't deliver that on the lending or real estate side, shame on us. We should either work with someone that provides that or do it ourselves or figure out how to do it. You see, I'm going to get to number 6 and I'll summarize this. Number 6 is the same, and that is ask the person you're potentially interviewing on the lending side, how do their rates and fees compare to the marketplace in the competitive marketplace? Ask them, see how they answer that question. How do your rates and fees compare in the marketplace? Now, there's a couple things I want to summarize here. Some people in our industry get funny again. Some people get strange and funny, and they take it personal when this conversation comes up. Believe me, in a commission business like mine or the real estate, none of us like the fact when someone questions what we charge, how we bill, what our fees are, what our rates are. We don't like it. It's uncomfortable. Let's be honest. It's uncomfortable. But you have to be able to talk about it. I mean, do I like it when I do hours and hours worth of work or work with someone for 2 or 3 weeks and work like heck to get them approved and really have a really challenging loan, and I do a bunch of work, and then they come back to me and they say, Joe, I know you promised me this, but the guy down the road said this. They could save me $1,000 in closing costs. And what I want to say is, are you kidding me? All that work I did, it's not worth $1,000? But the reality is, I got to get over that. That's a part of business. That's a part of the economy, and those things happen. We're not going to win them all. Hopefully you'll win a big percentage of the business that you do. So consumers are going to be asking this, and they're going to be asking it more and more. So let me finish up with this. These questions that I formulated today, these are questions geared around today's consumers based on the technology and the data and the research that we have. What I mean by that is these weren't made up. These are the things that consumers want. Consumers want a better use of technology. They think they should be able to negotiate. They want to be more educated in why we charge what we charge. They just do. So you could argue that. You could debate that. You could say it's wrong, but we live in a world where this is not going to change. Matter of fact, it's going to get more competitive. It's going to get more competitive. So as a consumer, as you listen to this, please take these questions. If you want more details on them, contact me. Again, anytime, Joe@RERadiolive.com is the email. You could call me, 408-838-9060. You go to our website, RERadiolive.com. If you want any of this information from me, I'm happy to pass it along. All right, we're going to have to duck out. Thank you again for your time. Thank you for the Facebook followers. Thank you for those listening online, and thank you for those listening on the radio. This is Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live. Thanks again for checking in today with us. Have a great, safe afternoon. We'll be back with you tomorrow. Take care.
You've been listening to Real Estate Radio Live. For more information on today's program, visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Tune in, log in, download our podcast. Discover more at RERadiolive.com. RERadiolive.com.